This is Border Crossings. My name is Larry London, and I'll be your host for today's show as we welcome a music star from the 1980s, whose hits include Every Time I Think of You, Change, Back on My Feet Again, and of course, the #1 song, Missing You. John Waite's name might not be easily recognizable, but his smash hits and his unique vocal styling certainly are. From his days with Bad English and the Babies to his own solo recordings, John Waite has toured with Ringo Starr and many other music giants. John's music has topped the US and UK charts, and he's on tour today, and he joins us for a live performance and interview. Stay tuned for John Waite on today's Border Crossings.
I put my heart on hold.
Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings, and what a great show we've got for you today. I'm very excited myself because I'm a fan of this man and his music over the years, going back as far as the 70s. And we welcome to D.C. and to Border Crossings and to the worldwide VOA audience, John Waite. Welcome to our studios.
Oh, it's great to be here, Larry. Thanks.
It's a pleasure to meet you in person. I have been playing your songs with the Babies and with Bad English for many, many years. And
so have I.
So have you. Probably many more times, I'm sure, than I have. But I love the songs. I love your music.
Thanks.
I love your sound and everything that you've been putting out. And
yeah.
Are you on tour now for a new album?
There's a greatest hits called Best. And there's like 12 songs that span the whole career. Mm-hmm. That's just come out. That's in the shops. And we got one called Wooden Heart Volume 2, which is like a retrospective. It's an acoustic anthology. And Missing You's on there, Isn't It Time, some of the really big songs, and then some of the obscure songs from past albums that are acoustic. It's an amalgam of like new cuts and old cuts. But it's a beautiful record. It came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It only took a day and a half to record the 6 songs that are on the 12 tracks. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was going in there to cut 4 tracks for an EP, because the volume 1 was an EP. Mm-hmm. And it became 6 tracks, and then I just added these other tracks in, and it was this album. But it's like, it's Spartan, it's stripped down. Sometimes it's just me and one guitar. A lot of it is just me and one guitar. But it's got something that I didn't expect it to have, and it's really kind of an experience listening to it. It really surprises me. It happens so fast.
What's the vibe on the new album? I know you've kind of evolved over your career, and for a while it was rock, and then you did a little bluegrass, and you worked with Alison Krauss.
Yeah.
So, where's the new sound for these days?
Well, no, I started off on the acoustic. Mm-hmm. I really did. My cousin Michael Deegan, he's with the Temperance 7, which is a trad jazz band in England that were big in the 50s and stuff, but he's the banjo player. Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, he was a painter who went to art school, but he'd play me Jimmy Rogers songs and Hank Williams and Big Bill Broonzy, and it all came from this national big acoustic guitar with a resonator, and then he would play like acoustic. But I grew up listening to that before I heard rock and roll. So when I look back to the key things that motivate me musically, it's always on the acoustic guitar. Even as far back as the Babies, the best songs were all written on the acoustic. And left to my own devices, I would play like country or folk or Celtic music or blues. Mm-hmm. But country blues, not so much electric blues like Chicago blues, it'd be Delta, you know? So it all comes from this. And as I got older, especially when I got out of Bad English, when that broke up, I went straight back to the acoustic. It was so natural. I was living in New York City, and the reason for playing the acoustic at that point, other than just I loved it, was that you couldn't make a lot of racket at 2 a.m. People would knock on the doors and you'd get evicted, So I had the acoustic with me all the time. But it spoke to me, and it always has. Mm-hmm. And so at this point in my life, when I don't need to sort of do anything other than what I want to do, this is what I'm doing now. It's just gone back to what I loved as a kid.
What's the name of the new album?
It's called Acoustic Anthology, Wooden Heart Volume 2.
Excellent. Well, and that leads me to believe there's going to be Volume 3.
3, yeah.
4,
No,
5.
I mean, I'm already thinking about that. We got some downtime in November and December. And there's so many songs, I've got some of the songs that I want to recut from the Babies, like You. There's songs that are just beautiful songs I'd like to sort of update and just bring out without any orchestration or like backbeat. Just the acoustic, it speaks so truly, I want to get back to that. And there's new songs I've written And all of the new songs are like on the acoustic, but they're kind of rock songs. It's not like I'm country, but I'm influenced by country. The intention of country is like storytelling, and I've always had that. I've always been able to like tell a story in a song, and I didn't realize till recently that's where it came from. It's really an honest acquisition, you know. It's like something that happened to me as a kid. Cowboy songs, you know, Marty Robbins. They're all story songs, you know.
Right.
So the natural thing for me to do is tell stories. But it works on the acoustic, not so much on the electric.
Yeah, there's not many storytelling guitar-based bands these days. I mean, you know, you have an artist like Ed Sheeran, for example.
Yeah.
He tells stories,
Yeah.
plays the guitar. So it's
You get
great.
it in country. You get it in country and you get it in bluegrass. But in rock's something else.
Yes.
Rock, unless you like Bob Seger, who can like... and obviously Bruce Springsteen.
Right,
There are
right.
people that really
Bob
own
Dylan,
that.
the legends,
Bob
yes.
Dylan, you know, I mean, Dylan's like you know, he's Dylan. There's only one Dylan, and he's the boss.
We've got John Waite in our studios on tour for album 11. And
Is it?
I guess you're not counting anymore.
No,
but
I was. I thought it was more like 20, actually.
it feels like it, huh?
No, it's 20. Oh, wow, it's the solo records. It's 11. But if
Right.
you put Bad English in there and the
That's
Babies,
true. It's
it gets
probably
to like
for
20 or 21.
Yeah, and
It's
40 years,
insane.
right? 40
yeah,
plus
more than
years.
40 years. I think somebody's trying to make me look good, but I said it's 40 years. It's more like 43 or something, you know?
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
And introduce the guys in the band. Before.
On the stool.
In the stool?
Yeah, we couldn't bring a drum kit. They couldn't fit it in. So we got him on a stool. This is Rondo, Michael Rondo Gillum. He's from New Jersey, and he's been with us for about 10 years. And here we have the man himself, the man in black. This on bass guitar from Philadelphia. We have Tim Hogan. And Mark Ricciardi, also the man in black, on the Martin D28. He's from Staten Island. So... it's an East Coast band, really. And with my sort of New York history, kind of like it jives, you know, we all sort of get on.
Now, what are you going to play for us first?
What would you like?
Anything you want to play.
Okay, we can play When I See You Smile. Sometimes I wonder how I'd ever make it through this world without having you. I just wouldn't have a clue. 'Cause sometimes it seems like this world is closing in on me. There's no way of breaking free. Then I see you reach for me. Sometimes I want to give up and give in. After everything is said and done, baby, you're my reason for living, yeah. When I see you smile, I can do anything, yeah. When I see you smile.
Huge hit, John Waite. Great song. 1989, you co-wrote that with Diane Warren?
Yeah, no, Diane Warren wrote that.
She
one.
wrote the song?
Yeah. Old friend of mine from way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where were you when you heard your song on the radio for the first time? You remember?
Me, I was on PCH with the babies. The top was down. We were going off to see Ronnie Wood from the Stones at Malibu Colony. And a mutual friend was going to take us over there to say hi. And we're driving up the PCH with the Pacific on the left and California on the right, and just blazing up PCH. It was an incredible thing, you know. I mean, it's like, I guess you think you've arrived when you hear your song on the radio. I mean, it's the first time.
Did you have to pull over to the side of the road?
No. We just sort of sat there and listened. I think when you hear it for the first time, nobody speaks. When the babies first came to America, we came down Sunset Boulevard, and there was a gigantic billboard over, just by Tower Records, not over Tower Records, but seeing a billboard with your name on it, that's something else. That's the same thing for me. It was the same memories that I have of LA and being in the babies, being a kid and being that successful. It was... it has a lot of impact. You know, you remember that, like a picture book, you know.
There's a big risk when you are in a big band like the Babies, and then you make a change to another band with a totally different name. And so what precipitated that? What caused you guys
Well, no, the Babies just broke up after 7 years. We'd really run our course. That was the end of it, really. I went back to England, got married. I kind of quit. And it was enough for me. I thought, well, I've made 5 records, and I've had a good time, and you know, I'm not even 30. It's kind of like it was a great time to say goodbye. And I don't know whether they felt the same way, but I'd definitely given it everything I could. I went back to England, bought a small cottage in the country, got married, settled down. And then I started to miss New York, which was kind of weird because I'm living in the countryside. You know, it's like, you know, all creatures great and small. You know, it really was. It was the Lake District and small, beautiful little village in Sedbergh near Kendal. And 2 lawyers got me out of a record deal, and I went to LA to meet EMI, and they signed me to this really good deal, and I didn't go home for about 3 months. It was like one of those things. I started to write the record, and it happened. It happened so quick. I'd had such a lot of time off that by the time I hit the ground again, I was not just running, I was racing. You know, I was really understood what I wanted to do, and I was no longer with this other record company. And the new record company actually liked what I was doing, you know. So, and man, it happened so quickly, you know. And instead of just doing like some work, meeting a few guitar players, signing the deal and going home, I had to stay in America and finish it, which leads us into missing you, because at the 11th hour, we were mixing the record. They had this great band, Donny Nosov on bass, Gary Myrick on guitar, and Curly Smith on drums. It was a tragically great band. And we'd blazed through this record, written a lot of stuff together, but I knew we hadn't got a big single. I just knew it, and there was something missing. It's like making a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a piece missing, and everybody's looking at the jigsaw going, yeah, it's great, isn't it? You're going, yeah, but there's a piece missing, and nobody got it. And I was going away while David Thorner was mixing, and I was trying to write something else, and I didn't even know what. And a friend of mine had this backing tape. We were working on this song in his studio, and I'm in the bedroom singing on this mic, and he's got a studio in his living room. And we were trying to find this tape we'd been working on for this song. We couldn't find it. It kept stopping the tape machine. And he hit the button at the wrong time, and this backing track came up. And I said, what's that? And he said, oh, it's nothing. I just did it last night. And it was like, boom, dun, 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 dun. And I thought, no, that's right up my street, that. What do you got? So he put that up on the headphones and the mic, and I went back in the bedroom microphone situation and sang the first verse chorus of Missing You without missing a beat. And that's what I was saying about, like, knowing there's a piece missing. Your subconscious is working overtime. I haven't been back to New York. I haven't been home to see my wife. And I'm really kind of feeling it. And Missing You came out, you know, and on that microphone, in that moment, after the first chorus, I choked. You know, it was like everything I've been walking towards in my life happened in that moment, and I knew that it was number one, and I knew my life would never be the same again. And that's, you know, true story.
And it came about by accident.
Absolutely. If the guy had put the finger down on the stop button on the tape machine, 4 seconds later, it would have gone by.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. And the fact that you could actually word associate those lyrics. You know, every time I think of you, I always catch my breath, and I'm still standing here and you're miles away, and I'm wondering why you left, and there's a storm that's raging through my frozen heart tonight. I ain't missing you at all. In one piece. You know?
Wow.
And that's where it comes from. Keith Richards said, you're just a conduit. You're writing songs. You might as well put your finger in the air and sort of God touches you. You know? It's like the painting. And, but the great stuff comes like that. You know, you might make notes in a notebook, and my house is full of notebooks. I very rarely use them. But you identify the idea and you write it down, and there it is. And I think you store that away. And then when somebody kicks off a backbeat, you just step in and you've got that. And then that happens.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And you can't set out to write a number one song.
No.
It just...
Well, some people can. Diane Warren can.
Yeah,
I mean, you
that's
can, you
true.
know, and I just did something on the radio with Katy Perry. It sounded fantastic. And you just look at it and go like, well, that's craftsmanship.
What'd you do with her?
What's that?
What'd you do with Katy Perry?
No, I'm just saying I just heard it on the radio.
Okay.
I would like to, you know, I mean, you know. Can we rephrase that
Let's
question?
break some news right now.
Hello, yeah. No, but, you know, so you heard it, and I heard the chord change, and the chorus thought, that's clever. You know, it's like really good. And it was Katy Perry, you know.
Can you do Missing You? Would you do
Yeah.
this? Great.
We can.
This is the song that knocked What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah,
Tina Turner right off
Tina
the chart.
Turner.
Knocked her right off the
My
throne.
heroine. I just, you know, it was, and I got to meet her the week before
Oh, boy.
at a party, and I leant over and I said, you know, I'm number one next to you.
That's right.
You know, what a way to say hello to Tina, you know. But she was very gracious, you know.
Wow. Fantastic. Missing You, John Waite.
Every time I think of you, I always catch my breath, and I'm still standing here, and you're miles away, and I'm wondering why you left. And there's a storm that's raging through my frozen heart tonight. I hear your name in certain circles, and it always makes me smile. I spend my time thinking about you, and it's almost driving me wild. And it's my heart that's breaking down this long distance line tonight. I ain't missing you at all since you've been gone away. I ain't missing you at all. No matter what my friends might say, there's a message in the wire, and I'm sending you the signal tonight. You don't know how desperate I've become, and it looks like I'm losing this fight. In your world, I have no meaning, though I'm trying hard to understand. And it's my heart that's breaking down this long distance line tonight. I ain't missing you at all since you've been gone away. I ain't missing you at all, no matter what my heart might say. There's a message that I'm sending out like a telegraph to your soul. And if I can't bridge this distance, stop this heartbreak on below, I ain't missing you at all. Since you've been gone away, I ain't missing you at all. No matter what my heart might say, I ain't missing you at all. I can lie to myself these days, I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you at all. I can lie to myself these days, I ain't missing you.
Woo! They're cheering around the world. John Waite, Missing You. What a huge, huge mega hit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, was that the highlight for you in the career?
Well, yeah, I was living in New York before that, and I was kind of living on 72nd Street in a crash pad, you know, sleeping on the floor on a mattress and stuff. Times were pretty tough. And I got to know all the neighbors and the old ladies on the street and the newspaper sellers. I was I was a New Yorker, you know. And then when I came back to New York, I'd go up there and see these people, and they were kind of real proud of me. And it was kind of, I really felt validated with that. It wasn't so much the number one thing or the success. It was like being in New York, and 6 months before, I was living off like $200 a week in New York. You know, it's kind of tough. And then I was sort of like, you know, top of my game, really. But the thing that really touched me was that the transition from being, and they were kind of like really proud of me and pleased. And I really took that to heart. I thought that was really kind of wonderful, you know. And the rest of it was great too.
Right.
When you're number one, you always get a good table in a restaurant.
And no sleeping on the floor anymore.
No, well, it was a mattress, but it was pretty funky. You know, it was like Me and the Roaches. You know, it was pretty serious.
Now, you guys chose the name Bad English.
Yeah.
And right at a time when there was a band called Modern English.
Well, you know, I never thought of that. But it was meant to be the spin you put on a ball when you're playing pool. You put like good English on, so it's kind of a, you know, it's one of those names, but English is what you put on a ball when you, and I'm English and I'm bad, and that's what we call it, Bad English. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things we're all trying to like agree on something, you know, and it was difficult, and we're all kicking in such a lot. It didn't really matter who came up with it as long as it sort of looked good in print. So and we got away with it. You know, we had a lot of success for like 2.5, 3 years.
And you worked with a couple of guys who went on to be in Journey, John McCain, Neil Schon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a great career you've had. You also worked with Ringo Starr.
Yeah, Ringo. Yeah, I was in the All Stars for like, I don't know, 7 weeks, which is kind of strange. You know, I mean, I used to be a bass player when the Babies started. And I used to be pretty good, but when you put the bass down, you're not playing guitar all the time. You have to relearn the instrument. And you know, the opening night in Canada, you know, it was nerve-wracking. We went in there and rehearsed for like 2 weeks, and then you're on. And there was Colin Hay and Sheila E. and Paul Carrack, some major songwriters, you know, in that band. So there was songs that were like Spanish, you know, hip-hop dance, super hip, sort of like Sheila E. songs. Then there was this beautiful Paul Carrack songs that were soulful. He's a great singer, keyboard player. And Colin Hay's stuff, which is almost like reggae. So you had to learn all those songs, you know, and then play your own songs. And, you know, I looked down and he said, and now here he is, Ringo Starr. And the curtains go up, you know, and I looked down at the bass, and I'm playing this bass, and I swear to God, it went from being a bass guitar into this sort of like object with steel strings on it. And I didn't know one end of it from the other. I mean, it was like, you know, looking at it going like, where do I begin, you know? I mean, you know, we're doing How Long, about 5 songs in, Paul Carrack's song, and it's I think it's in C. And I was so nervous, I started it off in like G. And they're all looking at me. The Ringo's going like, you know? And I'm like, you know, oops. And we got straight back in the right key. But I mean, you know, you look across the station, there's a Beatle. It was, you know, It's very serious.
And I've been reading up on you where you had written songs in some strange places on a cigarette pack and on your shirt sleeve.
Yeah,
so
still doing it.
What's your favorite part of this business? Is it the songwriting, the performing, the recording? What do you like most of the business you're in?
Well, funny enough, I stay away from the business. You know, I've always said that. I mean, the music business is fine. It's how it operates, you know, but I try to be as independent as I can. And me and Tim, we decide where we're going to play, and we sort of work out where we're going to go and stuff, and we make those decisions, then just go and do it. But once you're in the corporate thing, your independence disappears pretty fast. And the songs, you know, you write the songs in silent rooms. You know, the good ones that come, you sit down, you've had a rough day, or somebody says something to you that you really think is beautiful or whatever, or you see something on the news or on the front of the New York Times. I once saw the St. Patrick's Day parade. This girl had run out into the parade and hugged this fireman. And I looked at it, and that turned into St. Patrick's Day, a song, and it was so beautiful. It was so New York, you know. Those moments come, and they're great releases, and they're poetic, and they give your life meaning, and hopefully you'll impart some of that to somebody, and everybody goes like, yeah. But the rest of it is business, you know, and the rest of it's harsh. And we enjoy being on the road, and this acoustic thing we're doing with the anthology record, Wooden Heart, you know, it's the most, you know, it's when it kicks off, you're really present, you know. You can lean forward and see somebody there. We don't really do those sort of gigs. We do sometimes like 1,000 seats, but it's more often like 500. And then, you know, we go off and we play like Milwaukee. We did Riverfest a couple of months ago. We had 8,000 people suddenly arrived to see us play and then disappeared. We know that we can pull those people, and it's a big rock show, and it's really genuinely flat-out rock. But the acoustic thing is, that's what motivates me, you know, and you know, you listen to great songwriting, you know, Bob Dylan, you know, we're talking about like Steve Earle and Bob Seger, and I mean, there's a list of songwriters that you just look at, and Rodney Crowell, major writer, man. And you look at those guys, and it's like this, it's a society of people that are reaching for something, and then there's the music business, and it's that polarized, you know, it's black and white. There's the artists and there's the craftsmen, and they never mix. They're polar opposites, and they coexist.
Right.
But it's a choice you make. You can either be on one side or you can be on the other. And I choose to be on whatever side I pick. I just do what I want to do. And as long as I've got that independence, I'll keep making music. And if it gets threatened, or if you get too big, you know, you have to step away from what you do best. So it's best to be what we are, I think. We enjoy this.
What advice do you give to people who are coming up in the business? Because you have been through several decades, you know, and all the hits, you've arrived. You've got the kind of clout and status that you can walk away on your own terms. But there's a lot of people just getting started don't have
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer.
Yeah, and then get a lawyer to watch the first lawyer.
That's right.
then get an accountant, then get a second accountant to watch the first accountant. I don't know. I think if you stick to what you love, you'll always be kind of rich, and you'll always be able to walk the walk. You know, if you follow your muse, that's the currency of like walking tall. That's it. There isn't anything else. The other thing is like middle class kind of, you want 2-car garage, and you know, you want the McMansion, you want all that crap. Really? And it is crap. Once you get there, there's nothing there.
Right.
I used to say that like getting to the top is like climbing a pyramid of people. You know, you're just climbing this pyramid, you're trying to get to the top, and you get to the top and you run out of pyramid. All you've got is thin air. You know, it's Nowheresville. There isn't such a thing as a top. There's just this sort of like, they give you stuff. You end up with a spare room in a garage full of stuff people give you. And then you get a big tax bill. And then you get people that, you know, I mean, I don't want to sound bitter because I'm very happy, but I think there's a balance that you can make if you keep your head on your shoulders. But walking the walk, the muse, that's some place to be. That's where life is really worth it. You know, it's great.
Oh, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I know you got one more song for us.
Have we?
Yep, one more. John Waite's here.
We do, don't we?
Yes. I think something new, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's not. It's not. This is going to be one of the old standards.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
We could play. I mean, we could play anything you want.
Well,
actually.
I'm loving all your stuff. You know, it's a pleasure to have John Waite in the
Would
studios.
you play anything? Or should we do change? We're going to do change.
Great
I mean,
song.
people will know this because I usually get the capo wrong on this guitar, so I've got like change for New York City Girl 5. I mean, I've started this song off in the wrong key like 4 times on this tour. You know, that's how.
If you only had that with Ringo, right? If you
Oh
only
boy, yeah,
that's what you need.
I'm not a safe date, you know. You take me anywhere, and it's kind of you're taking your life in your hands, you know. Is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Short solo?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Why not?
Every man for himself. Here we go. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4. People talking, and they're saying that you're leaving, yeah. You're so unhappy, baby, the way that you've been living, yeah. Oh, we always wish for money, we always wish for fame. We think we've got the answers, but some things don't ever change. Change, it doesn't matter who you are. Change, what's in your heart will never change. Look in the mirror, you see how you've been taken. Ooh, you won't surrender, and oh, your heart is breaking. Oh, we always wish for money, we always wish for fame. We think we've got the answers, and some things won't ever change. Change, it doesn't matter who you are. Change, what's in your heart will never change at all. Do you remember when you got your lucky break? You're looking back now, and it seems like such a big mistake. Oh, we always wish for money, we always wish for fame. We think we've got the answers, baby, but some things don't ever change. It doesn't matter who you are. Change, yeah, what's in your heart. Change, blowing through your world every single day. Change, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great. Wow, wow.
Thank you, people.
John Waite.
An audience here.
You got your audience. You got your fans around the world, those
Yeah.
you can see and those you can't see. And people have been buying your records.
New York, man. Yeah.
Supporting your music. And what an honor it is to have you in our
Well, I
studios.
really enjoyed it.
And, it
God
must
bless
be a
you,
lot
brother.
of fun to be on the tour. You got the young, the old, all the generations of your fans.
We got a cross section you wouldn't believe. Last night I looked out there. There was an old lady, a poodle, and a manager. And it was a full house. You know, you play everywhere when you meet. You get to see the world.
And I just saw where your birthday's the 4th of July.
I know.
You got shortchanged, or you could look at it and say, see those fireworks? Those
No,
are for
man,
me.
it's I think it was destined. I think the love of my life, when everything is said and done, has been America. Because all the music, when you're a little kid, 4 years old, it's Cowboys and Indians, Davy Crockett, Champion, the Wonder Horse, Gunsmoke, and all that stuff, and Marty Robbins and the cowboy songs. And that sort of morphs into rock and roll. So all my life, it's been a big thing to be part of the American vision or whatever,
American
it touched
dream.
me deeply,
So tell me, John, your album name again, the new
It's
album?
called Wooden Heart Volume 2, Acoustic Anthology. There's a Volume 1 that's only 4 tracks. That's an EP. This one's got, I think, 12 or 14 songs. I forget. But it's really, honestly, I think it's some of the best things I've done, certainly as a singer, and being able to choose some of those songs and bring them back, like Missing You. Isn't It Time by the Babies, but just unplugged.
Right.
In God's Shadow, that I wrote with Keith Reed from Procol Harum. Just some beautiful. I like them, but it's a joy. You get older, and it's a joy to sort of look back at your career and do the stuff that you love so much, and it still have impact. It means a lot to me.
Is this a world tour?
It would be if we left America. No, we're going to finish this leg of the tour. I know. It's early, man. It's early. I'm doing my best. We got 8 more dates, and then we quit. We're going to stop, and I might go back in the studio, and then we pick it up again in January. And there's some talk of Australia,
Okay.
which we're discussing seriously. But we'd love to go back to Europe and play some festivals, but, we'll see what happens next year. Things are really good at the moment.
And where can people get the new album?
In the stores. We've got a distribution deal for both albums, and if that fails, if you can't find it or it's sold out, there's always iTunes.
Right.
And you can get it through the website. You can get a signed
That's your
copy.
website?
JohnWaiteWorldwide.com. You can get a signed copy. Just PayPal, but it's out there if you want it. You can find it. And hard copy is always at the gigs. So, but look in the stores. It's supposed to be in there right now.
And they can find your tour schedule as well?
Yeah, that'll be on John Waite Worldwide. It's and we got the dates for next year up there as well.
Great.
So it's pretty humming.
You doing Facebook and Twitter?
Yeah,
and
I'm
all
doing
that stuff?
Facebook. I deleted Twitter last week, and it won't let me back in. So I used to have this thousands of people on Twitter, and I've disappeared, and it won't let me back into my account. So that's gone. But Facebook,
Somebody else took it, which is
no.
why.
I just deleted it, and then I thought I'd go back in.
Oh, okay.
And I can't do it anymore. Yeah.
All right. Well, what a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, John, for doing this.
God
Thank
bless
you, guys. Great
Thank
band.
you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Can't wait to have you back.
Thank you.
John Waite, our guest, and you're watching Border Crossings. I'm Larry London.